Working on the third video for the day. Taking a quick break from working on the Book of Shadows to talk about something else. In case you haven't noticed, your pal, the Kwan here, is partial to coffee, and particularly sentimental to gays, lesbians, bisexuals, transgendered folks. I've been paying pretty close attention to this situation with Lieutenant Daniel Choi. I don't know, maybe you've heard of this situation. He came out of the closet to a major military newspaper and on, I want to say either Good Morning America or the Today Show. I don't know which exactly. But, anyway, so Lieutenant Daniel Choi faces being dishonorably discharged under Don't Ask, Don't Tell. The trial was today. I don't know what the actual outcome of the trial is going to be yet. I'm pulling for you, Mr. Choi, and I hope I get to work with you. Anyway, so among other news stories on Advocate.com, which is the official website of the Advocate magazine, I saw a story. There was a pride parade here, right here in good old Fayetteville, Arkansas, just over the weekend, actually, to which John and I had the pleasure and honor of participating in the parade, and not directly in the parade, but, you know, marching with the marchers, you know. You know, I joined the Army, okay? I'm going to be government property for the next 4 years. Depending on whether or not Obama decides to make good on his campaign promise, when the hell am I going to have another chance to go to a pride parade? Okay, that's enough about that. So we go to the pride parade, and interestingly enough, that weekend was also, I believe, Pride New York City and Minneapolis, and a barrage of other cities had their own pride parades. What with June being now official Pride Month. So I'm reading a story about, on The Advocate, about a man, I think it was Minneapolis, I'm not absolutely sure, coming home from the Pride Parade. And this one Somali kid, hey, are you gay? Dude says, yeah, what of it? And his friends, the kid's friends start coming out and say, we don't like gay people. Okay, good for you. Man keeps on walking. Other Somali kids are yelling at him, yelling names at him. According to the article, start picking up rocks and throwing them at him. Like, fuck, dude. That's fucked up. But eventually, at least according to the article, some police officers show up and dispel everything. And the man turns back and says, see how I'm not scared at all? That dude has more balls than most straight men I know. Anyway, thinking about that, and also thinking back on the preacher that cast out the gay demon from the 16-year-old kid who lied about his age, and thinking back to Crazy 316, and thinking back to the High Priest of the Coven that I used to be a member of, another black man who also hated gay people. Don't ask me how that happened. I don't get it. In fact, that's kind of what I want to talk about. I'm having a difficult time understanding why such a prevalent minority group here in the United States, and I am not generalizing this for the entire American black community, I am asking this question for a chunk of it. Why is there such a strong element of homophobia that's rooted in parts of the black community? It doesn't make any sense to me, and you're probably thinking, blah, 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 look at her, stupid little white girl. Fine, think whatever you want. But I don't understand this, and I would like some perspective on this. If you wouldn't want someone to infringe on your rights for the color of your skin, or call you a nasty name, why in hell would you go and do that to somebody else? You know, when I'm asking this question, I'm keeping in mind these Somali kids, or this preacher, or my former high priest, whom I am not on speaking terms, and I'm not going to name. Excuse me. I think a little coffee went down the wrong pipe. It doesn't make any sense to me. Black homophobia, I don't get it. The idea that you feel perfectly justified in expressing your hatred and dissatisfaction and dislike of a group of people because who they decide to fuck. But if somebody goes and calls you the N-word or fires you from your job just because they don't want you there, oh, it's discriminatory. And again, I can't say this enough. This is not a generalization of the entire black community, but I gotta admit, I am noticing that it's a pretty strong undertone here. And no, I'm not a racist, okay? I may live in the South, but I am not from the South, okay? And I remember one of my earliest memories when I was 6 years old, calling my sister the N-word because I didn't know what it meant, and then my dad promptly picking me up under his arm, dragging me out of the store, and then kicking my ass in the parking lot. And that was the last time I ever said that word out loud. Because when I was 6 years old, I didn't know what it meant. And now I do. So here is what I am having a hard time understanding. I am having an extremely hard time understanding homophobia. Homophobia in general. And I noticed, as far as homophobia is concerned, most of it is directed toward gay men and gay women. When it comes to lesbian women, are just like, whatever. But when it comes to gay men, there's this element of fear and anger. Like, what, are you scared he's gonna wink at you? What the fuck, dude? Anyway, I cannot wrap my head around homophobia coming from the black community. I mean, here in Fayetteville, as I mentioned, we just had a pride parade, 4th annual pride parade. And from what I can see, if the Mexican community here in Fayetteville can get around this homophobia thing, because at least half the participants in this parade were Latino. If the Mexicans and other Latinas here can get past their homophobia, anybody can. I mean, come on, man. Where's the love? This is Corny in 81. Making an ass of myself on the internet.